Hi everybody, welcome back to another Painted by Fame. I'm here with the gorgeous and ever so talented NikkieTutorials, which is not your last name.
No.
Which I thought would be a calling from the cosmic makeup artist gods that you would have the last name Tutorials,
Yeah.
which would lead you to YouTube. I'm sure it happens all the time.
All the time.
So we have an amazing transformation that's going to happen right now.
I am so excited.
I'm going to be turning you into me. Miss Fame.
I've waited all my life.
But you're more of a sister, so I would like to call you... We have to come up with a good name for you.
Yeah.
I think you had something in mind. What would you like to be called?
Misbehave.
It's very appropriate.
Yeah.
You've been acting up all day, girl.
Yeah.
It's ever since those cupcakes got into our hands. You turned on me. You're getting every trick that I do on myself. From the lift tapes to a brow cover, which, how often do you get to have a brow cover?
Never.
All right, a lift tape.
Never.
Or a Miss Fame snatched nose.
Oh my gosh.
It's every trick that you ever want to know is about to happen in the next
5 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours. Shall we?
I'm ready. I can't wait.
We got some moisturizer on your skin, just prepped with any moisturizer that you prefer, eye cream, the whole 9 yards. I wiped your brows with alcohol because you need that area to be dry to keep the brows flat. Wipe it with 99% alcohol, which is also the best product to clean your lace front wig with. I use, after the alcohol is dried and the skin is very matte, I'm going to push the hair toward the center of the face, down, and then pull it back out over here again. Oh my god, I love it. Your brow cover is going to be so pretty. We're putting some foundation on the brow to get rid of the pigment. And I am using this product by your recommendation because you said you love these HD Foundation 6 by Makeup Forever.
I do.
Which is one of my favorite brands. I use like a little cosmetic triangle sponge to beat that product into the hair texture. You want it to kind of like embed in all the shadows of the hair. Once that's set, I'm gonna take a little soft ochre.
Soft ochre?
Ochre! I'll be using a lot of Rocky's brushes. He's amazing. I use all his brushes for my tutorials. Chin up and looking down. So I'm taking this. I like to use, this is the D225. It's good for getting a really decent amount of pigment in a large area. So what I like to do to find that new socket line is I look at where the natural hollow is of your eye. Mm-hmm. As you've done this before. So you kind of lift up. You can see where that socket is. So I'm just going to utilize that high point, and I go a little bit above it. Like if I want to do any, we've seen Bianca, she go real high, she probably go another inch above. And then I'm just going to create, I'm going to tilt you a little bit like this, an extended tail to blend up to, and I like to start lifting that up immediately. So my little trick is like angles, everything needs to be up. That's going to be the base for the eye shape, and I'm going to go back to that tilt and looking down again, and I'm going to connect. So I'm going to get the edge here and use it as a guide to go into the corner of the lash, point A, point B, like that. And I'm using Teddy Liner by MAC. This is an S175 brush, Cosette. I'm using them again. And I'm just taking like a taupe color. And just like, I feel like with doing an eye, you start with a larger brush, with a lighter color, you get that diffusion, and you work your way down. Smaller brush. That you now own.
Proudly.
And I love it because it's just the right shape for creating a soft blended socket. It does it all for you. Like, it's magic. I'm just calling it what it is. It's magic. That tiny little brush that you picked up, the D230.
Oh yeah.
This is what I carve out that socket, that new lid.
Carving.
And I'm using coconut. Have you ever used this shade?
No.
It's like this amazing neutral brown. It has no red in it. It's just like earthy, and it's great for blending out like a brown smoky eye. You could put like a really great like bronze lid on this and call it a day. So what I do is I just go over the entire lid. Beautiful lids. And I'm just putting down some champagne. I love champagne hues for highlights, for eyelids. It's like, if you get your shading kind of crosses the boundary onto your lid, that new socket line area, this is how you re-sculpt that area and you get that sharpness, like you revive it by painting it back in. I use my finger. I just press on top of that cream base because it's still tacky. It becomes a good shadow base. And it picks up on light, but it's not like a heavy glitter to where you feel like
gritty.
The grittiness. It's undetectable. It has that pigment-like kind of feel, a little bigger than a pigment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I'm just taking a makeup wipe and I'm going right underneath our created line. This is just like tight lining or
the way you're
redefining.
holding it is so smart.
Flat, and it snatches it into that hairline. So we have.
That is so smart. Look.
It's done. So I'm just going to wipe with alcohol. So please excuse if your skin goes through it right now. The areas you're going to place facelift tape need to be oil free. We've got adhesive on both the tape and the skin. We place right, as you can tell. You want it pretty high up. It can be touching the hairline because we want it not to be visible in the wig. And we're going to contour from there. So it's, in a sense, we're trying to hide it so we don't get the misfame on the runway with visible tapes. Right here, behind the neck. So let's get into the foundation. I know that you...
Such a good part!
You do an array of situations with your foundation.
You know.
You do the center of your face, you said, with a lighter shade.
Yep.
I'm going to put a lot on.
That's fine. Unclockable.
Natural.
Natural. Hashtag Facetune, but in real life.
We're just going to load the skin, every little nook, pore, cranny, the whole thing gets paint embedded in it, like the way that God intended. Looking up to the ceiling. Oh, sorry, I electric shocked under your eyes.
That's just perfect.
Y'all, ooh, good. Do it again. Therapy. I like to use my fingers for this kind of product under the eyes because I feel like the skin on skin gives, it kind of blends right into every little nook and cranny with creams. I'll still blend with the Beauty Blender, but I feel like I never realized how I liked using my hands until the time I started working with makeup. A little light here. A little light here. Center. I will take the TV paint stick. This is a NG1, so it's gonna look pretty cray because we need to go in and start to sculpt. I'm gonna be a little bit more heavy-handed with this, and we're gonna blend it to nothingness. And when I contour the cheek, I usually do it until the brush flicks off the face naturally, like there. Like I want it to. That's always the center of the pupil, I feel. And then we're gonna go right underneath the jawline, and I like to create a really steep, like kind of like. I always need to razor down the width of my bone structure. So I add it right on top of my the corners and kind of eliminate the edges of my face. Mid nose. So not all the way from the brow down, but just the front. We're only contouring the tip. Both sides. We go on the bridge, but a little bit tighter. And then the tip, we're gonna make a little arrow. Pointing down, like that. Doesn't need to close. And to make the nostrils smaller on somebody that has a wider nose, you don't have the nose for this, but we're going to do it because I really want to show the trickery. contouring the sides of the nostril. Since we highlighted the front, we do this on the edges and it's gonna make it so narrow. We're gonna blend. Now the Beauty Blender, I use the end that has a foundation from before. So it still has product in it. That's going to kick down the depth of darkness on your forehead. So I take that, starting in the center. See like how that already, it takes out, it's doing what I need it to do. And because I laid down your foundation as a base, putting that darker shade over the top, it takes it down to the shadow level. And once I put a product like a powder over it that's light, it's going to kick it down further, but it's all embedded. Those shadows are embedded in the foundation. And now I'm gonna do the same on the cheeks. I kind of tap in little, like I go tap, 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 and see little circles where I go, and I build myself forward.
That makes a lot of sense.
So I'm like grabbing the foundation and pulling it in the contour and circling it again and again. So I'm gonna also go right here. Now I'm contouring the neck at the same time, so I'm pulling that pigment down. I'm swiping it. I usually don't swipe. I won't do that on the forehead or the cheekbone, but here I'm pulling that shading out because we want to like diffuse the neck. And the same thing over here. I'm gonna turn it and get a clean side of the sponge at the same time. Don't build up too much darkness with the previous tapping. So I grab like a new corner so I don't get too much weight of product. Same thing with the tip. Like that. I'm just gonna trick her. And now I just switch to a powder puff to like bake that face, that center highlight. Everything must go sail. Milk of magnesia, stop the sweat. Becca, that pores no more, I think. Or it's matte primer.
Oh, Ever Matte.
Ever Matte, yeah. That ratio for Brazil when I was there made my face look like ova. Like people were like, I looked so solid. The makeup like looked so beautiful because the weather is like 80% humidity. So now I just take what's left on the powder puff to soften the darkness of buff. So that custom blend, and it kind of, I start to merge and make sure that we don't have any, I'm not adding more product, I'm just using what's available on there. And also keeping, so there's not like a little hot spot of shine that didn't get addressed. So I'm using this Kevin Aquan color in medium. It's a sculpting powder. Just over your foundation, I think this powder would be great. Kevin Aquan knows how to make a quality product. Like the company is solid. And I'm just gonna take it right into that cheekbone crease. The crease of the cheekbone. We have crease there? That hollow, the cheekbone. And I'm just gonna blend it out. We're gonna do a little bit tighter.
Sound waves reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current. No need to worry about your
So I'm gonna give a little
Look at
kick.
that peach.
accidentally can't happen.
I love a good old peach.
Peaches and cream, honey.
Look, Gabon.
Oh,
Are you seeing
I'm
this?
seeing it. It's scaring me. I'm kidding. It's not pretty. Oh!
Right?
Oh! Your skin's so good, I can take your highlight all over your cheek. I usually place my highlight here because I have man-textured skin, and in order to avoid the texture, I only highlight in a certain area.
Okay.
But for you, you can highlight the whole thing, girl. I'm taking Oak Lip Liner, and I'm using it as a base. That's all. On Kat Von D's palette, we're using this middle top shade, Taupe. D220, D222.
I have that right.
Cosette, you own this. I use these brushes. I keep reverting back to a lot of the same brush. I use 3 brushes for the whole face.
Sorta. Kinda.
So I'm gonna extend it out past a little bit. We're creating length, because that's gonna give the illusion of a lash shadow, even though we're really using a giant lash shadow. Looking up, we're also gonna do that just toward the tear duct. And we're gonna use a smaller brush, and we're gonna keep blending this until we get it just right. This is a Makeup Forever Aqua Liner, and it comes in this like beautiful, it's number 11. So it's like a kind of a burgundy hue. We're just gonna do a tiny line really, really carefully. I have the shakiest hands. I've always had shaking hands. like shaking, but when it comes to the closeness, you almost have to like get muscle down and say like stop moving. Just gonna take, we've cleaned your lip off. Oh, we've cleaned your lip off. The laughter from within the room is just the jovial spirit of the gods of beat. I'm just doing, okay, so I'm taking night moth. I don't know if I acknowledged what I'm doing, but I'm going to take a little bit of a dark wine stain lip liner. So we're gonna do 2 shades. We're gonna do vintage on the bottom and black dahlia on the top, so you won't blend. It's gonna be 2 shades detached.
Yeah, that's my new favorite thing on this planet.
So good.
So
So I'm using the Alcone lashes we just picked up, my favorite store. 300T, they come like this, it's Alcone brand. Start on the outside. I take the outer corners, cut them in half, and I take the outer corners, which is the longer side, starting on both outer corners of the eye. Set to 300, so this is kind of a gradient, a little bit more fullness. And then we're just gonna go stack on top. This is the high school whore, and this is the prepubescent teen boy. The high school whore thrusts herself across the table, and the boy's terrified, but he knows what to do. He's going to insert his tiny little metal prong into the multiple hole options of the high school. You see what that's doing though? Now, I can go all the way on this side. The high school whore can go all the way. And then we can slide it back to right.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose. Oh my God, you got Christina Aguilera album cover mug right now. I'm so glad that we were able to do this video.
I'm so honored.
Like, what a dream come true. You have not only a stunning personality, you're an amazing canvas to work on, and you get makeup, so you trusted me. You didn't make me feel at all halted to create.
Honey.
And you took it like a champ.
I love this.
This was one of my most favorite experiences.
Oh, good.
You have so much to offer this industry. I'm so excited to see where you go.
Thank
And
you.
I appreciate your support in allowing me to create on
Of
a canvas
course.
such as yours. You have so much face to work with. That's not a read. That is totally the tea. Girl, working on this canvas gives me life.
Thank you. I
Trust
loved
me.
it.
You
I
know when
loved
you
it
get a
so-
good face and you get excited.
Mm-hmm.
The fun has not ended yet. We have so much more to share.
We're not even done yet.
So please go to NikkieTutorials and watch our collaboration.
Where we get ready together.
This energy will live forever.
Forever.
Yes.
Yes. Thanks.
Bye.
Yo. Bye.
Ooh.